Here's a rundown of the key points from Quiz 6. So the Hetairai. In Athens, the prostitutes were licensed and taxed, and this actually provided a level of status for the women that are at the top of that scale. This came to be a matter of pride, not only for the women, but for the men who are being accompanied by them. And there develops a expectation of education and artistic ability and beauty that sets these women apart and provides an interesting contrast from these men's actual wives who are in a much more traditional role of necessity. The hetera, therefore, sort of stands out and becomes a focus of positive attention in social situations. The flip side of this is that the women in this situation are able to participate in the intellectual, cultural, and social life of Athens in a way that ordinary women in classical Athens are not able to do, being more restricted to the private sphere. And so especially from an outsider's perspective, from an historian's perspective, the hetera seems to have greater agency, seems to be more liberated, and there's always a great deal of discussion about whether it's possible to envy the hetera as opposed to the Athenian housewife. And this is the point that Pomeroy makes. There's a illusory aspect to this because at the end of the day, the hetera is still a prostitute who is therefore a outsider within a society that very much prizes the marriage bond as the bones of society, as we've seen from Homer and all of Greek literature. So the prostitute, in a lot of societies, we talked about this with Shammad in Gilgamesh, the prostitute has a separate kind of freedom because she is outside of the normal schema of society. But she is also outside. She doesn't have the status or position, the ability to affect culture, and the capacity to be a part of the core element of Greek society, which is the family. In the Bacchae, so who attacks Pantaeus? Well, Pantaeus is attacked by the Maenads. Well, who are the Maenads? The Maenads are the noblewomen of Thebes, led by Agawe, who is Pantaeus' mother. Why is this happening? Because they are in a Dionysian frenzy. And Dionysian frenzy is a real thing amongst the ancient Greeks. You see it more in literature than in actual practice, but there's a one of the reasons that Dionysus is valued is because the of the freedom of the mind, the liberating of the mind that comes from the altered state, that comes from alcohol and other intoxicants, and this frees the mind from the rigidity and rules and structures of society. This essentially takes the human mind into the realm of the wild, into the world of nature, into the place where the gods reside. This is a way of surpassing the limitations of the human condition. And Dionysus uses this to demonstrate his own power and to punish Thebes for denying the rights that are owed to him as a god. Pantaeus is being punished, but Agawe is also being punished because the matron is responsible for the transmission of culture. The entire family is responsible here, but especially Agawe for bringing about a son who turns his back on the gods, and so this is partly the gods exerting punishment on entire families as they always do. This is characteristic of the gods as we've seen. But it's striking that Agawe is given the gift of liberation through the frenzy, but this is also used against her, to cause her to kill her son, thinking that she is a hunter, that she is killing a mountain lion. In a sense, you know, Pantaeus is the dangerous creature that is justly targeted in a way. Pantaeus is the animal that turned his back on the gods, that endangered the entire city of Thebes. But so this is there's a lot of complex layers to what is going on beyond the simple fact that Pantaeus is torn apart by the Maenads. The multiple choice question, the answer is adultery via seduction was allowed 1 day a year. All of these others are true, and in particular, it's striking to note that one of the side effects of Athenian the Athenian way of protecting the woman and setting her aside because of the how dangerous men are. This is the root that we've been talking about in terms of Athenian seclusion. Women are susceptible not because they're weak, but because men are terrible, because men are predatory and cannot be trusted. A strange man cannot be trusted around a woman of the household. And so the side effect of this is that women are held blameless in cases of adultery and seduction, that this is always down to the predatory nature of the male. According to Xenophon, in terms of believing Spartan customs regarding women, there's 2 points here. First of all, Spartan women are kept physically fit because the Spartans believe that that a strong parent produces strong children, and this is a way to breed warriors. But the side effect of this is that women in Sparta are physically more capable of surviving childbirth. Likewise, Athenian women often end up being in the position of giving birth at a very young age, in their early mid-teens, because of arranged marriage. Again, we're talking about the nobility only here. Arranged marriage is a function of the upper class, and so we're talking about this in terms of noble marriages. Women marry early, and the result is often childbirth at an early age, which makes it more difficult for the woman to survive, especially if there isn't an expectation and physical training designed to ensure that she's strong and fit. So in both of these aspects, in terms of physical fitness of the woman and in terms of not having early childbirth, Athenian philosophers consistently said that the Spartan women were better off. And that's the end of the quiz. Email me with any questions.